The 7 keys to healing hearts. Did you know that depression is one of the leading causes of disability worldwide? Around 5% of the global population lives beneath its shadows. 1 in 6 New Zealanders will experience that valley at some point in their lives. Every 0.3 seconds, someone considers suicide, and every 3 seconds, someone tries. These numbers are not statistics to me. They have faces, names, and families. I know that pit of despair, having spent my life clinging to a rope so frayed and slippery, it felt like someone had greased it just for fun. Up to 8 years ago, you would have met a woman who looked perfectly fine. I was functioning, serving, smiling, ticking all the boxes of responsible life, yet quietly falling apart on the inside. I spent decades being fine, freaked out, insecure, numb, and empty. I had slipped into a state of survival and my heart was exhausted. I had learned to breathe shallow so the pain would not notice me, to shrink so that sadness would not require an explanation. But God, in His kindness, began to interrupt my silence with color and sound. He used faith and creativity as unexpected tools for healing hearts. Science now confirms that my heart has discovered. Creativity nurtures emotional expression. It builds resilience and offers a therapeutic outlet. A review of 37 studies in art and health found that 80% of participants experienced reduced stress, increased self-esteem, and a more positive self-image. Yay, the laboratory finally caught up with the language of heaven. I can't share my story without God because He's the only reason I made it out of that pit alive. His mercy became my oxygen, His love my anchor, and His hand my rescue. For decades, I buried my creativity under under responsibilities and a mountain of lies. I believed I wasn't creative and that I couldn't sing, dance, draw, paint, write, or speak. I even believed I was a mistake. Survival mode had stolen my colors, but God started to hand me keys, one at a time. And today I want to share the 7 keys to healing hearts that changed my life. God didn't hand them to me all at once. He placed them into my hands gently, one at a time. Each key a story of healing and obedience, quietly expressed through creativity. Number 1, faith. The just shall live by faith. Faith is the golden key that unlocks every door of healing. It serves as our anchor in stormy seas, keeping us grounded when waves of doubt crash over us. Like a lantern in the darkness, faith illuminates the path forward when we cannot see beyond our current circumstance. This sacred key doesn't merely open doors, it transforms the very act of believing into a healing balm for wounded souls. When we walk by faith rather than sight, we discover that our Creator is working all things together for our good, even in seasons of profound difficulty. The second, singing, where breath becomes prayer, because God rejoices over us with singing, according to Zephaniah 3, verse 17. When words feel inadequate and our hearts too heavy for speech, singing becomes the language of the soul. Every breath we offer in song transforms into prayer, rising like incense before the throne of grace. Music has the extraordinary power to heal what medicine cannot touch. If in our singing we join the external chorus of creation itself, The birds know the secret. Their morning songs aren't just melodies, but declarations of hope with each new dawn. When we lift our voices, whether in worship or lament, we participate in something sacred and ancient. The third key is drawing, an expression when words fail. Because Habakkuk 2 verse 2 says that we are to write the vision and make it plain. Every stroke of the pencil becomes a prayer, every line a conversation with the Lord. Drawing allows us to capture the visions God has placed within our hearts. When trauma leaves us speechless, the simple act of putting pencil to paper can begin the healing process. Art becomes our voice when we have none. Even science has said, when you're depressed, pick up a pencil and color. The fourth key is painting, because God gives us beauty for ashes, according to Isaiah 61 verse 3. Painting transforms the gray areas of our pain into brilliant colors of hope and restoration. Each brushstroke becomes an act of faith, declaring that beauty can emerge from the deepest sorrow. The canvas holds space for our emotions when our hearts can't. Through painting, we participate with God's creative nature. Like the master artist who painted sunsets and morning skies, we take raw materials of our experience and transform them into something that speaks of redemption and grace to touch others' hearts. The fifth key is dancing. Because God turns our mourning into dancing, according to Psalm 30, verse 11. Dance is the physical expression of spiritual freedom. When our bodies move in rhythm with our Creator's heart, chains of bondage fall away. Every step becomes a declaration that we are no longer prisoners of our past pain or present circumstances. In sacred movement, we discover that our bodies are temples, worthy of celebration rather than shame. Dance reminds us that healing isn't just for the spirit, it encompasses every part of our being, inviting our whole selves into the rhythm of restoration. The sixth key is writing, where every page becomes a prayer. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer, Psalm 45, verse 1 says. Writing becomes sacred when we allow our hearts to flow through ink on paper. Each word we write in honesty and vulnerability becomes a prayer, a conversation with the Divine Father who knows our deepest thoughts before we even pen them. The simple act of writing our story, with its pain and beauty, begins the healing process. Words have power to bind up our wounds and set the captives free. When we write, we participate in the same creative force that spoke worlds into existence. The seventh key is speaking, because there's legacy in our words. 1 Peter 2 verse 9 says to proclaim the praises of him who called us out of darkness. Our voices carry the power to heal not only ourselves, but others who need to hear that redemption is possible. When we speak our testimony, not in perfection but in authenticity, we create bridges for those still trapped in darkness. Speaking truth becomes a trumpet call, announcing that the night is ending and dawn is breaking. Every word shared in love and honesty becomes part of our spiritual legacy, echoing through the eternity in ways we may never fully comprehend. The symphony of healing is that each key unlocked another step to healing hearts. Creativity was not a luxury, it was the way God rebuilt me from the inside out. Creativity became my language with God, a way to process grief without drowning in it, and an expression of faith and a path to joy. Healing hearts stopped being my story, but became my calling. These 7 keys work together in beautiful harmony, each one unique yet connected. Like instruments in a divine orchestra, these they become create a symphony of healing that resonates through every aspect of our being. God has given us not just one path to wholeness, but multiple avenues of grace. Your keys await. These keys are not reserved for the especially gifted or spiritually mature. They are God's gift to every wounded heart, every searching soul, every person who longs for wholeness. The Creator who placed stars in the skies also placed these instruments of healing within your reach. Which key will you pick up today? Which creative expression will you allow to become your pathway to healing? Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about participation in the beautiful work of restoration that God is doing in and through you, because He has made everything beautiful in its time.